And then ASU basketball back in action tomorrow in Tempe as they host UCF. Welcome in, Rock Minuch with Jimmy B out here at the Trophy Bar in downtown Ocotillo. We'll be here till 4 o'clock leading up to tonight's Monday night football game between the Rams and the Vikings, the last of the wild card weekend. Good weekend of football as well as college football on Friday night. We'll dive into all those stories throughout the afternoon, that is. But the big story to start out is Mike McCarthy is out at Dallas. Reports this morning that Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones were unable to agree on the new contract. Of course, McCarthy has been there for 5 years, 3 straight 12-win seasons from 21 to 23. Didn't do quite well this past year as they dealt with a lot of injuries, and they finished the year 7-4. But it looks as though, according to all reports, that they couldn't agree on the length of the contract. So McCarthy, who basically had the cards, he was a guy, he could say this is what he wanted to do, didn't want to do. And he probably went in there, guys, and said, this is the plan. If I don't get my 5 years or whatever the years are, there are so many great jobs out there. And right now he goes right up to the front of the list for Chicago and New Orleans and maybe even Las Vegas. He's a great football coach. Mm-hmm. He really is.
I think the other thing, too, is as matter as being part of the personnel changes or thereabouts. I think that's more than just the length of the contract. I think he wanted to, and I'm just speculating here, folks, I think that he wanted to have some say in the kind of personnel, kind of people that he wanted to be part of this team with Steve Jones, Jerry Jones' son, who's the quasi-general manager. I think there might have been something to that as well, too, because your point, Rock, he really does have the leverage. He's like, look, if I can't get this Dallas thing turned around the way I want it to be, money aside, you look at the length, I get it. He's got the leverage to go to the Chicagos, to the New Orleans, to the Jacksonvilles. New England is gone with Vrabel being named over the weekend as a head coach. So he's got some opportunities where I think he might have more control if he's going to give it the last college try, so to speak, and try to take a team to the promised land, that being being a Super Bowl. I think with Dallas, he sees a lot of flaws. If he can't have say-so in it, aside from the length, I think that's part of it.
Yeah, but you just referenced there were a lot of flaws in Dallas. Yep. Every team that you just mentioned has a lot of flaws.
But here's the thing.
Functional Dallas.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think what he sees is if I can go get, if you don't allow me to help you with the flaws, my input, personnel, and you're saying, Jerry, you Mike, you just coach. We'll do it. He might go, okay, if that's the realm, then give me a longer contract. So if it doesn't work out and you let me go after 2 years in my new 5-year, I will say at least I got paid for dealing with what you're handing me versus going somewhere and going, look, guys, if I come to you, Chicago, McCarthy, McCaskey family, or I come to you, Jacksonville, or I come to New Orleans, I want say or part of the kind of team I want to put on the field. Otherwise, Mike McCarthy's got enough money for 25 lifetimes.
Oh, yeah.
He's got enough accolades. Now, I know he wants to continue to coach, but I think now he really wants to help figure out how to get a team there.
So is all automatic, just because he's available right now, is he the hot commodity on the market?
Absolutely.
The market.
No question.
Ben Johnson, Ellen Moore.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now that Vrabel's off the market, bang. He's number one.
He's number one.
Yeah, he's number one. And all the other,
if Vrabel was still on the market, he would be number one.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he would. And that's interesting. We thought about
Super Bowl champion head coach. Yeah. Wherever he's gone, he's won. And he's good with quarterbacks.
Exactly. And so he knows Robert Kraft thick and thin. I'm sure they worked out a lot of things.
I'm talking about McCarthy.
McCarthy, yeah, McCarthy too. But I think
I'm not talking about McCarthy too. I'm talking about just McCarthy. This has nothing to do with Vrabel.
No, what I'm trying to say, though, is Vrabel got what he wanted, and I think that's
turned down the Chicago job.
He did. Because, again,
they said yesterday.
Again, if you're a guy that's taking a team, you know how to win a championship being Vrabel. He took it to Tennessee, knows that. They almost got there, did they not?
They got to the championship round.
Yeah. So you got Vrabel's going, he heard everything he needed to hear, whatever cooperation he wants to get from Robert Kraft and his staff. I think would help seal that deal because they negotiated all weekend, if you saw that. So I think with Mike McCarthy, if I'm going to go take a next job, these guys want to have say so. They know what it takes. If they're not going to be allowed to do their job off the field, on the field, then all right, then if I can't, then give me a 5-year versus a 3. Now, if you give me more say so, I'll take the 3-year at 12, 15 million or whatever that is. I think he's just looking for security if he doesn't have say-so on who they pick and who they don't pick.
I think it's just the way the Dallas Cowboys handled this was petty. It was embarrassing. It proves once again how dysfunctional this organization is. However, it's top story every single day. I was golfing on Saturday and playing with some guys that are older, and they said, hey, look, now they made fun of me now being at ESPN, right? For woke reasons and all that stuff. And I said, I don't work for ESPN, the four-letter world. I said, I work for another company. I said, I don't work directly with them. Because is there anything you could do, and you can make a phone call to these morning shows and stop leading with the Dallas Cowboys all the time? Because that's what they've done for so many years. And sure enough, Colin Cowherd starts his show today. Yep. Bam, goes right into Pat McAfee. I flip over to Pat. He's not even talking about it. He's all into his WWE, whatever it is, stuff. And I'm like, dude, this is a big story. I don't care if you like them or dislike the Dallas Cowboys. This is the biggest head coaching job that's out there. Dallas Cowboys head coaching job is gigantic. Even if you got to deal with the general manager and owner, Jerry Jones, it's still a smoking deal. The thing is now you look at who's going to maybe fill that role. I think Cliff Kingsbury's got a hell of a shot. He's got talent. I mean, he's done well there in Washington. He's great with quarterbacks. Kellen Moore, of course, spent 3 years there already. So he makes some sense. Brian Flores is another guy. They're going to get a good guy there.
Oh, they will.
But you have to think Jerry Jones has been around long enough, already had his next guy in place.
I think he's
before he made the move. Because, the fact that he wouldn't allow McCarthy to go interview with the Chicago Bears said to me they were going to probably keep him. But I think what he wanted to do, and this will probably come out later, at least there were so many reports that he wanted to incentivize his next coach. He wanted incentives. He wanted these coaches to hit certain numbers, win certain amount of playoff games and things like that to get paid. But he was already paying McCarthy, $8 million a year? Right. There's 10 coaches making over 10. Harbaugh makes 16.
I think the petty thing about that, he would not allow him to talk to anybody until his contract was up. I think that was pretty much, they were still, it seemed, for that case, in negotiations to say, look, we keep your focus here. If we can't agree, there's several jobs out there. But I agree with you, it's like, okay, because at that point, if you allowed McCarthy to go talk to the Bears or whoever, he'd be saying, we're done with them. But he didn't want to show that kind of leverage to the market that, you can go because we're not going to renew you. And I think McCarthy people said, no, wait a second, that's okay. Let's try to work this out because of the money and the length of the contract. So when it's the length of the contract, that's what they're saying. I think there's more to it than that.
Absolutely. That's why I think the incentives, I think McCarthy is saying, hey, if this is what you're going to give me, I can't reach these incentives.
But here's the deal. They can't talk to Kellen Moore or Kingsbury until they are eliminated. Allegedly. Yeah, they're talking to their
Here's the name that I think may have, it's a stretch, and that's Sark at Texas.
Interesting.
He spent some time as an assistant with Dan Quinn last year at Atlanta.
Yes.
Okay, before he took over 2 years ago, before he took the Texas job.
Right.
He's turned that thing around in 2 years, 25-5. He's a Texas guy. I can see Jerry doing something crazy like that. Maybe a refresh.
Would he chase Freeman at Notre Dame? There's been his name has surfaced for
the Bears.
Yeah. Would he chase him to Marcus?
There's several guys that can chase. It's just a matter of what they want to tolerate, whoever you are. Kingsbury said, look, I want to stay with Jaden Daniels, continue to develop him. But, when money talks, you get a Godfather offer of 10 plus or 12 plus $1 million. Again, guys, Cliff Kingsbury's been there and done that as a head coach with the Cardinals. What can you live with? What can you not live with if you don't have complete control of the team? Do you feel that the Commanders are better suited to winning a championship or championships than the Dallas Cowboys?
Hey, our headlines, which are just one, that being McCarthy out of Dallas, brought to you by Twin Peaks, and our fantastic tailgating sweepstakes, which is sponsored by Blue Moon and Coors Light. Only got about a week and a half left. All you have to do is text Peaks to 59925 every day for your chance to win the grand prize. And that is a Traeger grill, a Blackstone griddle, a pizza oven, a cornhole set, a portable beer pong table, a projector with a screen, a cooler full of Cocoa 5. No purchase necessary. Just text Peaks to 59925. Standard message at data rates apply. I can't wait for this contest to be over. Why are you laughing? You don't even know why you'd be laughing.
No, because
why are you laughing?
Because I've read that just like you have read it 1,000 times.
Okay, that's not why.
Oh, okay.
Why do you guys think?
Garage.
Yeah. You need somebody like Jackson who's fresh thinking. You guys, come on. I need to get this stuff out of my freaking garage. I got to park my truck in sideways. It sucks.
Oh, woe is me.
Hey, we're going to take you back to some of the top plays, courtesy of DraftKings at TPC. Scottsville will be there next Monday for our national championship game. But today we're out here at the Trophy Bar in Chandler. You're locked in, ESPN 620, Phoenix 98.7 HD2, and we're streaming